Hello everyone, this is Suchi. Welcome to my channel. If you are watching my video for the first time, subscribe and support and click on the bell to get notifications of my new videos. Today let's know about the term reproduction or how do organisms reproduce. So before we discuss the topic how do organisms reproduce, let's know exactly why do the organisms reproduce or is there any need to reproduce. So, for this, we can put our answer this way. Reproduction is one of the most important characteristics of the living organisms. This allows the survival of the species. If no reproduction, then no living being will be surviving on the earth and the organisms will go extinct. Hence, reproducing organisms create new individuals that look very much like themselves. However, organisms sometimes create exact copies of themselves and sometimes few changes occur in the offspring or the newborn. As you already know that the chromosomes in the nucleus of a cell contain information for inheritance of features from parents to the next generation in the form of DNA molecules. So, this DNA is the information source for making proteins. If the information is changed, different proteins will be made, leading to altered body designs. So, creation of a DNA copy is the basic event in reproduction. Through chemical reactions, the cells build copies of this DNA, which forms two copies of DNA in a reproducing cell. Later, additional cellular apparatus is created for both the copies separately, which separates from one another. So, this means that a cell divides to give rise to two cells. We have already discussed about the cell division and its types in our previous videos. To know more, you can click on the link given in the descriptive box. Now coming to reproduction, the similarity of these two newly formed cells depends on how accurately the copying reactions have occurred. There will be some variations each time the cell divide or you can tell each time the DNA copies. So by this we can tell that DNA copies will be similar but not identical to the original. These little changes may be the stepping stone for evolution to occur in time. So now let's know why this change or variation is important. The consistency of DNA copying during reproduction is important to maintain the body design features that helps the organisms to adjust to the particular place and breed and form an ecosystem. So, reproduction is linked to the stability of populations of the species. If a population of a reproducing species is suited or adjusted to a particular place, and if the climate of the place is drastically altered, say by increasing or decreasing temperature, water level, the population of the species could be wiped out. But if in case some variations present for new individuals in their population, there would be some chance for them to survive and then they grow and breed further. So, variations are important and useful for the survival of the species over time. So, now by all these information, we can tell that reproduction is the biological process by which an organism reproduces its offspring that is biologically similar to the organism. This process enables and ensures the continuity of the species generation of generation. For this to occur, the DNA copying is very important. As you already discussed about this, now let's know few more points regarding DNA copying. DNA copying, also known as DNA replication, is the process of producing two identical copies of DNA from one original DNA molecule during cell division. The formation of two new cells from one involves replication or duplication or copying of DNA along with the cellular components. But DNA copying is absolutely the same as the original, and the errors occurred here are responsible for variations in the new generations of organisms. So, it is necessary for the organisms to come up with more reproductive modes that caused or generated more and more variations. This process of making variants can be speeded up by combining variations from two or more individuals. Do note that we already have new variations in a DNA copy from previous generation, and each new generation or combination would involve two different individuals with different variations, giving rise to few more variations in the new one. So, this is accomplished by sexual mode of reproduction, involving the process of combining DNA from two different individuals during reproduction. But then, think there would be twice the amount of DNA in the new one when combined with the DNA copies of the pre existing individuals. Then there would be more and more DNA from generation to generation that might lead to the problem in the control of the cellular apparatus by DNA. This problem can be overcome by the following way. The multicellular organisms have specialized cells or the reproductive cells in specialized organs in which only half the number of chromosomes and half the amount of DNA are present when compared to the non reproductive body cells. This division of cells and chromosomes along with DNA is achieved by the process of cell division called meiosis that is discussed in the earlier videos. So, when germ cells from two individuals combine during sexual reproduction to form a new individual, it results in re establishment of the number of chromosomes and DNA content in new generation. The fertilized egg formed by the combination of the germ cells from two individuals is called a zygote. If the zygote is to grow and develop into an organism with highly specialized tissues and organs, it has to have sufficient stores of energy. In very simple organisms, the two germ cells may be similar to each other and may be not very different. But in more complex organisms, the germ cells become more specialized and different to each other. One germ cell is large and contains food stores, and the other is smaller and maybe motile, or it is also called as movable or mobile. The motile germ cell is called male gametes or sperm, and the germ cell containing stored food is called female gamete or the ovum. Now you can tell a zygote is a fertilized ovum. The sperms and the unfertilized ovum reinstates a chromosome set in zygote. So this was the importance and of DNA copying. How does the DNA copy? Now let's know about the significance of DNA copying. DNA copying ensures that each daughter cell produced at the end of the cell division receives an identical amount of DNA. It causes evolution by generating variations during sexual reproduction. It aids the transmission of information or traits from parents to children. So, this was all about the introduction to reproduction and DNA copying along with its significance. Now, we shall wind up here. In our next video, we shall know about the reproduction and its types and few more points regarding that. Hope this was clear. Please do subscribe and support and click on the bell to get notified. For any queries and requests, do drop in message in the comment section. Thanks for watching.